Hello and welcome to Breaking the Stigma, Menstrual Hygiene Unveiled, the show where we dive deep into topics that matter the most to our youth. I'm your host, Looney, and today we're starting an important conversation that is often shrouded in silence: menstrual hygiene. In many parts of the world, including right here in South Africa, discussing menstruation remains a taboo, surrounded by myths and misconceptions. But today, we're breaking the silence because knowledge is power, and it's time we empower our youth to make informed choices about their health. This show isn't just for girls. It's also for boys to understand that both girls and boys go through physical development and what they mean to each other. We'll be hitting the streets to find out what young people like you think about menstruation. Do they feel comfortable talking about it? What are the common myths? In episode 2, we will bring in the experts in the field who will provide valuable insights and strategies or ideas to help us tackle these misconceptions head on. But before we head out, remember that Breaking the Stigma, Menstrual Hygiene Unveiled is all about engaging with you, our viewers. So feel free to join the conversation on social media, where you can send in your questions and comments. Together, we can create a supportive community. So stay tuned as we embark on this journey together to understand what do you think about menstruation, right here on Breaking the Stigma, Menstrual Hygiene Unveiled. Welcome back. In our quest to understand what young people think about menstruation and the gender issues surrounding it, our team hit the streets to get some answers to our questions.
Three or four on a day, because if you don't change it, it's gonna spread under your clothes and your clothes gonna get dirty.
You can change it when you see that your pad is full. You can change it. You can't stay with it the whole day.
I think 3 times every 3 hours.
No, because the girl can be pregnant or the boy can be sick.
No, it's not safe because there are so many causes that happening when you are having sex on menstruation. You can fall pregnant.
There are possibility that you can get pregnant when you are on your period, but it's not 99.9% exactly.
By my own opinion, I feel like you cannot get pregnant while you're on your periods.
Many girls come from different backgrounds where their parents are not working, and that makes them to not be able to afford to buy sanitary pads. And some girls miss school because they are ashamed of going to school without wearing pads when they are in their periods.
Lack of pads.
No, I hardly think that having periods are impure or women should be ashamed of it. It's a natural cycle that happens every single month, and I feel women should be more proud and comfortable that they are going through this situation.
With me, I feel like menstruation blood is unclean and it is a sign of impurity because the body rejects it, right? So it surely proves that it is not needed in the body.
I feel they should be brought into the conversation by having talk groups each and every single, let's say, week or holiday. Groups of men in institutions go through what women go through, and they try to understand what they are going through.
I think they have to be educated more in case of emergency in the future, and I think they need also support. And as I have many friends, I need more education to know when my friend needs help and how to run and go buy those hygiene products for them.
Menstruation is a woman's issue. It's not really relevant to men.
I believe that boys should be more educated rather than hearing from us, because immediately we tell boys about our nature, they make us feel ashamed or embarrassed of our nature, and there's nothing we can do about that, I think.
Looking at the fact that at schools they try and avoid this topic of menstruation, thinking that it's so uncomfortable for the topic to be discussed in front of boys. But I think that boys also need to be part of this discussion, that they need to be aware of what women go through every single day. Not even single days, but then when they reach that period time where it's their time to menstruate, we need the teachers also to support us guys into knowing that girls go through menstruation, and to be actually educated of what is going on with a female body.
No, I don't think there is enough. Because if there was enough, a lot of women would not be suffering the way they are suffering right now.
Yes, I think it is a basic human right, because some of our parents do not work. They do not get money. Some of them are poor. They can't meet with our basic human needs. So, perfect example, my school. We are provided with sanitary pads, but they are not enough for us. A pack has eight sanitary pads. And, for example, I'm the perfect example. I go 8 days in a menstruating cycle. I need more than that 8 packs of sanitary pads. So yes, I think basic human right is a need. And I think sanitary pads should be given free to women.
Throughout the years I've been, living, I've seen that not a lot of products for women are free in some situations.
On my opinion is that those girls are using tampons. They are not really virgins.
Yes, it's very safe, because without them we cannot come to school. We'll have to stay at home, because when you go out there will be fear that our skirt or dress will be wet.
I feel comfortable talking about the menstrual cycle with my friends sometimes, because some girls don't go on periods. I do talk to my mom about menstrual cycle, but I sometimes don't feel comfortable.
I'm very much comfortable because it's a natural thing. And when I say I'm very much comfortable, I'm talking about talking with my parents, talking with friends who are females, a parent who's a mother. I believe that a parent who's a mother was there, is still there, so they definitely know what I'm going through, what I'm facing. And some of my peers, some of them are not there yet, so it's more like I'm educating them about menstrual cycle.
Sometimes I just think these girls have drama, because of if a woman is moody, it must be that time of the month.
There's not too much around our school, because of most of the people don't think that girls are able and willing to go out menstruating within a month. So I think it is possible for in every school for everyone to be able to educate people about menstruation, and to be able for them to understand what menstruation cycle is, and to be able to understand how we feel as girls when we are in our menstrual cycle.
With me, I feel uncomfortable, because I feel like some girls and women need to refrain from some certain activities.
Menstruation effects come different as women. And what I would say is that you lose focus when you're having your periods. The pain and the cramps and everything girls go through. You can't focus, and obviously you'll need medicine in class. And sometimes it becomes difficult for the teachers to teach you while you're in pain.
Sometimes we may face period pains while on our menstrual cycles. That may affect us in school, because we may not be able to focus very well. And in some activities, it may happen that you do not feel comfortable using a tampon, and that's actually what you actually need in order to do activities like swimming and maybe going to camp. And let's say maybe you are not financially stable to buy sanitary pads, and then you won't be able to do anything, because you simply don't have the right resources to participate in such activities.
I think men could go to the shops with women when they buy them and also sit down with them and try to understand more about these things.
What I've heard about the misconception of menstruation is that in other churches, blood is impure, which means girls going through their menstruation are not welcome to the church. They have to spend like 7 days before they're welcome to the church. And the other thing is, when a girl is having that menstruation in class, they be being mocked by guys because lack of education. They're not being educated about what's menstruation, the guys. And the other misconception is that our brothers and fathers, which are uneducated about menstruation, end up bullying the girls because of going through menstruation. They be saying things like, "You have what you do, what you actually going through is impure, and it's not supposed." You know, those type of things where they be like judging the person instead of helping, laughing. You know, those type of things. Yeah.
Wow, those were some fascinating insights from our youth. It's clear that there's a lot to unpack when it comes to this topic. So stay tuned, because breaking the stigma, menstrual hygiene unveiled, is just getting started. We're on a mission to break the silence and empower our youth with knowledge. Let's take a short break and we will see you after. Welcome back. Before the break, we had the opportunity to hear from young people and gauge their perceptions about menstrual hygiene. It's evident that this topic resonates with many, and there's a wide range of opinions and experiences surrounding it. In addition, we have received some real-life stories sent in by young people who have faced challenges related to menstrual hygiene. Let's take a moment to read through a few of these stories and understand the realities that many young people encounter.
Hi, my name is Tandy, and I want to share my story about the challenges I face. I live in a rural area where access to pads is limited, and money is a constant struggle for my family. There are lots of times when I've had to miss school because I can't afford pads. On these days, I feel ashamed and embarrassed, knowing that I'm falling behind in my studies because of my period. Missing school affects my education and my confidence. I watch as my classmates progress while I lag behind. Unable to keep up with my workload, I'm constantly frustrated and sad. I've tried to manage my periods by making use of things around me, like old rags or pieces of cloth, but it is never enough. I fear staining my clothes, and the discomfort I experience makes it impossible to focus on my studies. I believe that every girl deserves access to menstrual hygiene products and the opportunity to thrive in school and beyond.
I grew up in a traditional community where menstruation was never openly discussed. As a young man, I remember feeling confused and embarrassed whenever the topic came up. It was considered taboo to even mention the word period in public, let alone discuss it openly. One memory I have is from my school days when a girl in my class got her period for the first time. Instead of offering support or understanding, many of the boys, myself included, reacted with laughter and mockery. We didn't understand what she was going through. Looking back, I realized how harmful our attitudes were and how they perpetuated the taboo surrounding menstruation, which is a normal and a natural process. It wasn't until I started learning more about the menstrual cycle and its importance in women's life that I began to challenge my own beliefs and attitudes.
Both these experiences reflect the reality of many young people who lack access to proper education and resources, and remind us that the impact of societal attitudes on young individuals can be profound. It's crucial that we create a more inclusive and supportive community. We've discovered that many young people have questions and concerns about menstruation, but often societal attitudes and myths stand in the way of open conversations. Education and breaking the silence are essential steps towards empowerment. So stay with us, because we're not just talking about the problems, we're actively seeking solutions. In our next episode of Breaking the Stigma, Menstrual Hygiene Unveiled, we continue with experts and guests who will provide in-depth information, answer your questions, explore how we can create a more informed and compassionate society. They will also tell us about campaigns and on-the-ground initiatives that people who lack access to menstrual hygiene products can turn to for guidance and assistance. Thank you for joining us today on Breaking the Stigma, Menstrual Hygiene Unveiled. Remember, your voice matters, and together we can create positive change. So let's keep this conversation going, and we'll see you in our next episode.